Today I'm going to talk a bit about intimacy. So if you're listening with other people around, little ears, you might want to put it on pause and listen later. Part of our adult life is really about sex and intimacy, is about connecting with other people. I've been spending a lot of times with couples in the last year, if not longer, talking a lot about intimacy and how stress has impacted how we approach intimacy. So I'm going to share a metaphor with you, a way of seeing things that I hope will radically change the way you approach intimacy in your life. Now, we are socialized to see sex and intimacy as this one outcome, that we're always striving for this one specific outcome every single time. And what that does is it takes away from everything else available to you that would increase connection and intimacy in your life. Now, I want you to think about intimacy as I'm going to a buffet. Now, at a buffet, there are a lot of options, and you can pick and choose what you want in order to kind of create your meal. Now, that might be very different with COVID. I don't think we're doing a lot of buffets, but just bear with me on this one. And that is the beauty of a buffet. That is the appeal of a buffet, that you can go, and if you just want to have chicken fried rice and your entire plate is chicken fried rice, then you can do that. If you want a plate with a whole bunch of veggies, then you can actually do that. So the appeal of a buffet is that you have options, and you can pick and choose what you actually want for your meal that day. And every single meal, if you go back to the buffet every single day, can be absolutely different. You can construct a totally different meal by picking different things from the buffet. Now, if you looked at your intimacy in the same manner, that there are a whole bunch of things that make up this buffet of connection and intimacy, and that you can pick and choose different pieces or different parts of it to create an experience in that moment, then we're more likely to engage in intimacy. The problem happens, especially what happens for a lot of women, is that when their partner potentially initiates connection or wanting intimacy or wanting sex, what they do is they slot through the entire event and they pre-plan what that's going to look like. And then they determine whether they have enough time, energy, or if they want to. And what that does is it brings about this idea of constantly being the person that puts on the brakes while your partner is always putting on the gas. Now, that dynamic can get really tiring and can cause a lot of stress and strain in a relationship. So the idea of a buffet changes the conversation. The conversation that happens between two people who are engaging in intimacy is, what do you want from the buffet? What do you feel like tonight? Are we doing the whole meal, 3-course meal? Are we doing salad and then dinner and dessert? Or are we just like doing dessert? Are we just doing salad? What would you like to do? Now, this negotiation of consent may sound like it takes away from romance and it takes away from, the spontaneity of connection. But trust me when I tell you that this is going to radically change your intimacy and the way that you connect with your partner. Because what it does is it sets the mindset to engage in, what do I actually feel like today? What do I have the energy for? What can I focus on? Where am I at physiologically with my body? How do I feel emotionally? And so what it does is it gives you options for connections. It's not just one option and then it's like, I don't really want to do that, so it's a no. But what it does is it opens up the conversation to multiple things that you can do to create more connection, more fun, more joy, and more sexual energy in your relationship together when you talk about the options that you want to engage in. Now, this is really a different way approach to think about connection and sex. But trust me that if you can see it more like a buffet and not like a one dinner that you're always trying to get, but you have the option to put different things into your meal, into your intimacy, into your connection, it will change the way you have conversation with your partner about it. It will change the way that you engage in it. And it allows you to sit in a place of you being in control of what's happening and having consent over how much time and how much energy you're putting into this connection. Now, I wish you tons of fun in changing the conversation around this and changing your mindset around it, and test it out and let me know how it goes. I'm really interested to hear how this works for you, because all the couples I've talked to has made a radical big difference on how they approach intimacy in their life. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you here next week.